RKO the Infamous and WO back with another video doing my UFC 148 pay-per-view predictions for the full main card. And this is a 6-card fight because originally there was supposed to be a second title matchup next to the main event between Uriah Faber and Dominic Cruz, which got changed because Cruz got injured, and then it ended up being Barao. And that got changed because I believe Aldo got injured on the UFC 149 card. So that interim title fight got moved to the UFC 149 card. And now there are 6 fights on this card instead of 5 because they have a 4-hour time slot instead of a 3-hour, just in case both title fights end up going 5 rounds, and they didn't want to cut it close. So now we got a bantamweight title between Ivan Menjivar and Mike Easton, and I think Ivan Menjivar is going to take it, and should be a good matchup between the two. I think this is going to go all 3 rounds, and Ivan Menjivar is going to win by unanimous decision. Then we got a featherweight matchup between Mendes and Cody McKenzie, and I believe this is Chad Mendes' first match since losing to Jose Aldo in UFC 142, and I think this is his first match since then. I could be wrong on that, but I see Chad Mendes actually knocking out Cody McKenzie in this matchup, and this will be another good matchup, featherweight matchup between the two. And then we got a welterweight matchup between Dong Kim and Demian Maia. And I see this Dong Kim to take the victory in this. I don't think he can knock out Maia, and I don't think Demian Maia will submit Dong Kim. But this should be a good matchup, and I think Dong Kim will get the unanimous decision victory over Demian Maia. Then we got a middleweight matchup between Cung and Patrick Cote, the returning Patrick Cote. I believe his last fight was at UFC 113. I believe so. That was 2 years ago. And originally this was supposed to be Cung versus Rich Franklin, but Vitor Belfort pulled out of the Vanderlei fight because he got injured, and then we had the Franklin versus Silva 2 matchup at the prior pay-per-view 2 weeks ago. So this should be a pretty good fight. And I think Cung will actually get the knockout victory over Patrick Cote in probably the second round. Probably high kick. And should be another good matchup on this card. There's a lot of good matchups in this main card that we have. And then we got the co-main event, the lightweight bout between Forrest, Griffin, and Tito Ortiz. And Tito Ortiz has announced that this will be his final fight in the UFC, and none fitting to be the rubber match between Forrest Griffin and Tito Ortiz. They both each fought each other twice. One that I believe won UFC 57, and Tito Ortiz won that fight by split decision. Then they fought at the main event of UFC 106, which was originally supposed to be the Brock Lesnar-Shane Carwin card, the main event, but then that's when Lesnar got that thing in his colon, whatever, and that this matchup got bumped out to the main event, and Forrest Griffin won by split decision. And now we are going to get rounds 7, 8, 9 between this fight, and I think this will last another 3 rounds. But I think that Forrest Griffin will win by unanimous decision, and I expect this to be fight of the night, if not, fight of the night, or maybe the next matchup. Or because I'm seeing knockout at night for the main event between Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen 2 for the middleweight championship. Everyone knows the infamous UFC 117 card. Chael Sonnen trash talked Anderson Silva to death and dominated him for 4.5 rounds. Like, Anderson Silva has never been dominated before. Everyone thinking Chael Sonnen was going to get the win, finally defeat Anderson Silva by a 5-round beating, not a knockout or submission, a 5-round beating. But that was not the case when Anderson Silva locked in that triangle choke and made Sonnen tap out and retained his middleweight championship in the 5th and final round, pretty much. 2 minutes left in the 5th round, which I believe was the 3rd time ever to happen in a UFC title matchup. I think this will not happen again. I think Anderson Silva, there was a lot of trash talk coming into this fight. Chael Sonnen calling himself the real. Actually, sorry, after that UFC 117 fight, Chael Sonnen was busted for taking anabolic steroids, I believe, and was suspended for a year. Came back, beat what's the guy's name again? That's the military guy. Chael Sonnen versus, he beat Lieben. Brian Stan, that's what it is. Oh, I drew like the biggest blank ever. Brian Stan, he beat Brian Stan, knocked out, I believe, TKO Brian Stan. That was UFC 31-36. Yeah, that's what it was. And then he beat Bisping at the Fox card to get his title shot. Well, that was a pretty good fight, 3-on fight. It was really close. A lot of people thought Bisping won. I saw Chael win the fight, but it's whatever your opinion was. And then that's how Chael Sonnen got. Originally, his first fight, he called out Anderson Silva for the Super Bowl card, but that wasn't the case. That's why he fought Bisping, then got the title shot. And this was originally supposed to be in the Brazil, the UFC 147 main event, and it was supposed to be in a big stadium in Brazil, but then they couldn't get that stadium, so they bumped out the pay-per-view to the week later with in a regular arena for UFC 147. So it got bumped off to UFC 148, and now it is being held in Vegas. And this was supposed to be UFC's annual thing where they have a monster card in July. It's kind of like their WrestleMania, and they're having a long week of events and all that stuff you can enjoy in Vegas. And but there's a lot of trash talk, and Anderson Silva finally came back, and in a press conference call, I believe last week, Anderson Silva pretty much threatened to break every bone in Chael's body and pretty much destroy him. And when he said that, he hung up the call. He left the room for, when he was in the call, and Chael Sonnen hung up the call, and then they pretty much ended the conference call, and that was pretty much it. And the stare down that they had between the press conference that happened on Tuesday or yesterday, I can't remember, and that was heated. So I want to see what the weigh-in is going to be like, and when they finally face off in the octagon. But Anderson Silva, I see beating Chael Sonnen, pummel him pretty much for the first round, and knock him out in the second round. Once you see Anderson Silva hands down, pretty much the fight's over. Every time you see Anderson Silva hand down and you see someone not attacking because they're too scared, like he did to who did he do it to again? He did it to Yoshin Okami. One second round when he put his hand down and everyone's like, why is he putting his hand down? And it hit, and then he knocked out Okami. Same thing's gonna happen to Chael Sonnen, I think. And Anderson Silva will retain his UFC Middleweight Championship. And I expect this to be a fun fight if it goes longer than that. But that is my predictions for UFC 148. Leave your prediction down below. Are you on this card? I think a lot of people are. Probably get over 1 million buys. And it should be damn good. So that is my prediction. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. That is all.